Is the mic on? All right, let's do this. What a mistake. What a mistake. I went to Sedona. I knew I was going to regret it. I absolutely knew it. I was Otter the Ordinary.
This lady says she's lucky to be alive after what was meant to be a relaxing trip tubing down a river turned into a really scary situation when she was attacked by an otter.
That's right. Otters are attacking us. What's wrong with Orny Adams? Episode 111. I'm back in Los Angeles. I'm back in Big Yellow, my Shasta. I want to thank everybody that listens, subscribes, writes reviews, shares this with people. An unusual amount of new subscribers to my Patreon. Thank you. Welcome aboard. This is the universe of what's wrong with Orny Adams. Why I can't vacation like everybody else. I knew it was going to be a mistake. I absolutely knew it. It's crazy. I love Sedona. Something magical about that place. We're going to get into all this stuff. So much to talk about. I do have great big eyes, I think. What's his name, Kev? Sing along if you want to. You can also, by the way, you're more than welcome to cover this theme and send it to me, and I will play it on the podcast. A lot of emails. Thank you to everybody that emails me at what'swrong@ornyadams.com. They're being read. They're being processed. None of you are being ignored. None of you. Believe it or not. I listened to a lot of podcasts when I drove. And I had this thought. I listened to a lot of these highly produced crime podcasts, which I love. I think we all love crime podcasts. And I'm in awe of the production, the research, all of that. And the way they tell the story really made me think why anybody would ever listen to this. Started to get insecure. You know, when I started What's Wrong with Orny Adams, if you listen to episode 1, 2, and 3, which are just audio, that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to do a hybrid of comedy and highly produced podcasts. I couldn't crack the code. I question his podcast every day. I'm questioning, really, everything after being in Sedona. Boy, that's the other thing. I just listened to the podcast, or I edited the podcast, the last one, 110 with Jim Clemente. And there were so many verbal typos I make because I'm just running with it. And there's not a lot of pre-thought. And what happened was, this is not plugged in, of course not. What happened was that, you know, I would say things like, we were discussing that hotel, and I would say rent instead of mortgage. And I hate that. I wish somebody would correct me. I called Jim afterwards and said, could you just correct me? Could you say, I think you mean mortgage. The mortgage on the hotel or whatever. So a lot of mental typos, but I realized none of this really matters when I was in Sedona. None of this world. It's just, I stared at a creek, excuse me. I don't know what the difference is. We got creeks, we got rivers, we got ponds, lakes, ocean, bays. Like, how many different ways do we have to describe water? But I was staying in a place where there was a private creek, and I kayaked and relaxed. Here's the great thing about Sedona. There isn't really, your phones don't work. You're at like one bar all over this place. But you go out to eat, nobody's on their phones. The only people on their phones are the stupid tourists taking pictures of all the rock formations from every angle. Put me on that list. I was one of those stupid people. In awe. It's gorgeous. Went to the Grand Canyon. It's magnificent. I love everything about it except the altitude. And Sedona, you know, I was on this creek. I just stared at a creek. My feet in the creek for hours. Just staring at the water, rippling off the rocks, enjoying life. No access, my phone. Sometimes music in my ears, sometimes not. Meditating. I'm completely sober. So relaxing. Something that you didn't really understand until I didn't, until I got home. And I definitely want to go back. Now, when I went to the creek, and there was it was on a campground. Although I wasn't camping, I had access to the creek. Because I'm famous. Okay? I don't want to say it, but famous people have access to things that you guys don't. Okay? So, the caretaker for the... Is that what you call him? The caretaker for the camp? The host. Excuse me, the host. Welcomed us. And showed us where to go. And there was a kayak. I said, who's kayak? He said, oh, you can use that. Now, I love kayaking. Everybody knows that as a kid, young Orny was a big canoeist. I loved to canoe. And I still love to canoe. And for some reason, I like the canoe better. I like it wobbles. I don't know. The kayak is cool, but it's just I didn't grow up with it. And I've noticed there are very few canoes left. And I don't know if the movie Deliverance had something to do with this. People freaked out by canoes. They associate it with that terror. But the canoe has evolved into the kayak. And I'm very good at it. In fact, I would challenge anybody to a canoe race. All right? It's an open challenge. So I got on the canoe. By the way, the kayak is very difficult to enter and exit. I find the canoe a lot easier. But there's creek, and you can't see the bottom of the creek. And there was a rope swing. And the guy who was the host, as I call him, the host of the campsite, I said to him, what's in the creek? Anything, any wildlife I have to worry about? You know, I immediately think crocodiles. There's a verbal typo that just got auto-corrected in real time. Any crocodiles? Any crocodiles? My stupid mouth doesn't do what my brain tells it to do sometimes. Any crocodiles? Makes me want to just hit stop on record and start this whole podcast over. You know, now probably a stupid question. There's no crocodiles, or what do they call them in Africa? Caimans, alligators. Anybody know the difference between any of these? Sure, there's some nerds keeping an eye on the Cayman Wikipedia page that can correct me. People love to correct people. He said, no. Sometimes there are otters. I said, do they attack humans? He said, no. So I take his word for it. Now, normally I would hop on the phone and I would do a little research quickly. Is it safe to swim with otters? But there was no service. See, here's the problem in modern society. There's too much access to too much information. We wake up with information, and it's getting in the way of us living our lives, okay? Because it turns out it is dangerous to swim at times with these creatures, these cute, cuddly, little, adorable-looking otters. They're vicious. And they swim in packs, and they sleep together on something called a raft, where they all, you know what I mean? They're gangs. I've seen them attack. I watched a video of them attacking a caiman in Africa. They're not so nice and cuddly. You know, it's like these people that get the monkeys as a pet, the little chimps, and then they attack their face. So I took his word for it. See, the problem with the world now is we want to fact check everything. We want to be informed all the time. How often do you hear somebody just say, I don't know? Everybody has to have an answer for everything. Hey, what's your opinion of this? And they have to give a dissertation. Like they've researched it. They've done extensive research and given it great deliberation and thought. I'm going to start saying, I don't know. Haven't thought about it much. Haven't really read about it. Guess I'm stupid. Guess I'm a crocodile. So, the only other question I had, there was a rope swing that I wanted to rope swing into the creek on, and it looked like it was all rocks on the bottom. Was it safe? Was it deep enough? He said yes. Now, this is the same guy that said that otters don't attack. By the way, the guy was giving me stock tips advice too. Guys, I almost bought his stocks, but I had a friend that talked me into buying pot stocks. Still have them, and I'm losing a lot of money. And that guy's not a genius with money, and neither's I assume this guy running the campground isn't. Who knows? So I did the rope swing I loved, but went into the water, and cold, frigid. The only thing that really bothered me, it's bothered me my entire life. I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of people aren't going to divulge this sort of personal information, but I don't like the bottom, the floor of these creeks, rivers, and ponds. I grew up going to a pond every summer, and you touch the bottom, and there were, this leaves and sticks and probably snakes. Maybe otters, because I can hold their breath for like 8 minutes underwater, waiting to pounce on the humans. So I swam freely in this creek. I enjoyed it. I was a hippie. I stared at the water. I meditated. I kept my feet in there. By the way, everybody in Sedona, 100% nice. Didn't meet anybody not nice. In fact, went to a vegetarian restaurant, walked in, was looking at the menu board, and a guy came over, older gentleman, and said, first time here? I said, yeah. He said, I recommend this and this. And I said, I'm thinking of this. And really helped me decide what to order. And I said, how long have you owned this restaurant? He said, I don't own it. I just come here frequently. That's what happens in Sedona. You go to Sedona, by the way, you go to a restaurant, got a lot of people walking around with their shoes off, bare feet. In fact, I did it. We were at this vegetarian restaurant, which was it was great. Everybody's so nice. Great food. And then, of course, about an hour into sitting there enjoying the environment, this outdoor patio, sort of garden feel to it, very relaxing, very eccentric looking people, fun to look at. I mean, certainly, I look really like I was from out of town. And I got into it. I took my shoes off. I got into it. I took my shoes off about the time that a band set up in the corner with, I don't know what kind of, like a sort of a drum and a flute, and did what I would describe as Hare Krishna covers. I don't know what was happening. I thought I was about to enter my first cult. I go, here we go. I've been waiting for this. This is exciting. This is exciting. And the great thing was a lot of people in the restaurant knew all the words to these chants. And I just stared up at the trees and sort of tried not to pass judgment. Very hard for me not to pass judgment. Anyway, back to the creek. I come back here last night. I'm preparing for this podcast. I decided in the creek I had an epiphany. Some genius came out of me, and I said, when I get back, I'm going to tell everybody I swam with otters, and that it was Otter the ordinary instead of out of the ordinary, right? Like a little, that'll be the name of the podcast episode, Otter the Ordinary. I didn't realize I was risking my life. I didn't realize. Does everybody realize how fortunate you are to still have me here? That I wasn't attacked and killed by a pack of angry otters that seemed to attack for no reason. This is what scares me about water. I want to enjoy I want to go in the ocean. I used to love the ocean when I was a kid. I used to go to Cape Cod every summer, and I just fearlessly enter that water. Wasn't afraid of drowning, wasn't afraid of sharks. I saw this documentary called After the Bite about Cape Cod, which all tie into this episode, because the reason there are a lot of sharks in Cape Cod right now is because of this Animal Preservation Act of the 1970s that stopped people from hunting, which is great, seals and other mammal life. But now there's too much of that, and the sharks are having a feeding frenzy. Sometimes they mistake my foot for a seal. So I want to enjoy the water. Can't we have some sort of peace treaty? I guess we're not. There's never going to be peace in the Middle East. Why? How could I ever expect a peace treaty between the mammal life and humans? I guess they have a right to bite us because there's a lot of people fishing and doing other stuff. Didn't I see a report of a dolphin that got shot? It was on the beach. It had been shot. Somebody shot a dolphin. A wonderful world. But I just want to go into the water and not worry about a snake or a piranha. Before the internet, when I was a kid, the rub was that these piranha, big pack of them, could actually eat you, your entire flesh, within a minute. Like 1 minute you're alive, and then you're just bones. So, leeches. There was a movie where somebody got out of the water, they were covered in leeches, so we have to worry about that. Spiders, little things that bite. Scorpions. Holy shit! Why would you ever leave your house? We're lucky that any of us are alive. So last night, I wanted to confirm that otters do not attack humans. And it's not like rare. I mean, it happens. It's not common. It's something in between. But I found numerous reports. Let's finish this one about this woman that's lucky to be alive. She was in Montana. This is some news report.
This woman is lucky to be alive after surviving a river otter attack.
You gotta see her
on her
face.
37th birthday.
Oh my God, and her
This thing was
arms.
Vicious and relentless, she writes on Facebook. It bit my face in several places. Both of my ears, my arms, my hands, my legs, my thighs, and my ankle.
Holy.
Jen Royce says she and her friends were tubing down the Jefferson River.
Tubing! I've been tubing in Boise, Idaho. It's one of my favorite white trash activities.
When they came upon the vicious critter. We were helpless. I did not think I was going to make it out of that river. The attack went on for 5 agonizing minutes.
Who was timing it?
Jen and her friends were able to swim to shore. She was airlifted to the hospital where she received hundreds of stitches all over her body.
You got to see this.
Otters sure look adorable.
Oh,
but
they
just
sure
last
do.
Month, we told you about this angry sea otter who's been terrorizing surfers in California.
Otters are a pretty territorial animal, especially if it was a mom protecting her young.
Who's this guy?
A
Who's
lot of
Zoo
times they will do
Montana
everything
expert?
and anything they can to get a threat away. Whether or not the individual was a threat or not, the otter doesn't understand that. They are not the cute and cuddly animals that social media wants you to think they are.
Yeah, absolutely. That's Inside Edition. So then I'm like, I wonder if there's other cases, right? So here we go. Look at this one. Look at that. There's an older gentleman, very rugged, so rugged that he has a plaid overshirt on. And not some hipster version. This isn't Banana Republic. This isn't this version of plaid. This is real man plaid going on. This video is from NBC News. It says, man says otters attacked him while he was swimming in a California lake. Oh, good God. Good God. California lake. Last night I Googled places to kayak in Los Angeles, in California, and now I can't. They're climbing up on kayaks. You should see that video of the otter attacking the person surfing. See what this guy has to say.
It is by far the most terrifying experience I've ever had in my life.
Really?
Nothing even comes close to it.
Attacked by otters. Matt Leffers has been swimming in serene lakes for 30 years, but nothing could have prepared him for what happened.
Okay, serene lakes. That's the impression they give off. These lakes are monsters in sheep's clothing. You know, they're so serene, their reputation's so pure that we create monsters like Loch Ness or whatever to offset its great reputation. I don't even know what I'm saying.
In the water on September 3rd.
I was about 100 to 120 feet out right there.
That's when Matt felt something bite his leg.
Oh.
And within a seconds, I was bit again. And then I started swimming fast, but the otter popped up right in front of me.
Punch it!
And then I was bit again.
Punch
Matt
it!
says 2 otters viciously attacked him. His wife eventually used a paddleboard to get him to shore and took him to the hospital, but the damage was done. Photos showing the bloody aftermath. Matt says the otters bit him at least a dozen times and left him with 40 puncture wounds.
These things were so aggressive.
Yep.
They literally, I felt like they wanted to kill me.
But this is not the first time this has happened. Casey.
Okay, I want to say this. I'm writing a film. I'm saying this right now to copyright the idea. I am writing a film. It's the Jaws version. Here's my pitch of otters. Nobody's done that. These cute little otters, and they're just systematically going around and attacking humans. I'm actually working on the pitch right now in my head.
Confirmed that otters also attacked someone at Serene Lakes in July.
I think the fact that I'm the second person attacked here this summer, it's a big red flag.
The California Department of Fish and Wildlife tells us they're aware of the otter issue here at Serene Lakes and other bodies of water, but they say there's not much they can do.
Nature is not a theme park, right?
Whoa! Put that on a shirt. Nature's not a theme park.
There are real risks that you have to be mindful of.
Fish and wildlife officials say river otter attacks on people are very rare, but add that they are a predator species.
They won't normally attack people or larger animals. However, they will
Right, but if they're going to
defend
attack anybody, they're attacking Orny Adams at a creek in Sedona.
their territory if they feel threatened.
That includes threats to their hunting grounds. KCRA3 obtained a letter Fish and Wildlife sent to the Serene Lakes community in late September, saying the abundance of fish in the lake is a likely cause for otter presence and behavior. So what's the solution?
Yeah, what is it?
Officials are asking residents
Don't
to
swim.
limit fish stocking in the non-swimming section of the lake.
I don't know what that means. Limit fish stocking in the non-swimming parts of the lake. Staying out of the lake. Wait till you see my film. Wait till you see my film. You'll never go in another lake for the rest of your life. Woman survives harrowing otter attack. You gotta see this guy's face. She looks like the woman that got attacked by that chimp. 72 years old. Listen to this story. I mean, I could do this all day.
He got me on the nose.
Yeah,
This
clearly.
woman survived a vicious attack. Her nose torn open, her ear nearly sliced off, her hand savagely bitten. The culprit? An otter. They sure look like adorable creatures and oh so friendly.
Yeah, you gotta see it. This is Inside Edition. The otter's on its back and it's flapping around. It sticks its head out like it's a periscope. And oh, look at me. I'm innocent. And then next thing you know, it attacks you like a crocodile.
YouTube video shows a curious otter hitching a ride aboard a kayak.
Look at that. Hey, little guy. What you doing? You cleaning?
We see them with the button noses and the sweet faces, and they're laying back or they're cuddling their young, and that's the picture most people have of otters.
But river guide Marcia Weichel says otters can be ferocious.
I have heard that in an attack between an otter and an alligator, the alligator doesn't always win.
Last week, Marcia led a kayak tour along Florida's Bradenton River. 77-year-old grandmother Sue Spector and her husband Marty were along for the adventure. That's her sporting her favorite sun hat.
Oh, that's her favorite sun hat. Look at that. It's quite a sun hat. I think we all have a favorite sun hat. In fact, I should be wearing mine for this episode.
About a mile upriver, an otter appeared alongside her boat.
He was swimming along beside me, and I thought, oh, how cute.
Suddenly, the otter jumped in her kayak.
I jerked when he jumped. I wasn't thinking he's going to give me a nice kiss. I knew that this was dangerous, and I had to get him off of me.
Its claws shredded her hat.
Oh no, the favorite hat! You gotta see it, it's shredded. These otters are vicious. They're going after our fashion and our favorite hats.
Her nose and ear, then sunk its razor-sharp teeth into her hand.
I was screaming, I was fighting.
I heard this woman screaming. And
yeah, where are the other
realized
people?
It was Sue. So I just took the paddle and tried to shove it off.
Fellow kayakers blew an alarm whistle that alerted Marcia, who raced over to Sue's kayak to help.
He's clawing at her nose, at her face.
Doesn't look like she's a lot of help, to be honest. She looks a little bit older. Oh, they're hitting the otter!
Showed us how two kayakers started whacking the creature with their paddles.
Oh,
they're over here trying to discourage
this is a recreation. I'm sorry,
Sue was rushed to the
reenactment.
hospital to get stitched up. As a precaution, she also received a rabies shot.
Oh, that's the other thing.
How are you?
That's the other thing. This
Inside
is
Edition was there as Marcia checked out how Sue was recovering.
Isn't she a trooper?
An encounter with a vicious otter she'll never forget.
she'll never forget. That's the other thing. These people, and this ties into the Clemente episode. So I'm reading this last night and I thought, wow, you have to get those rabies shots. Like we discussed, remember Jim Clemente, former FBI profiler, was on the last episode, he's done a bunch of episodes, and he was attacked by a rabid fox, shot the fox with his service revolver. Boy, how much shit do you get from the guys in the office after you finally pull your revolver and shoot it, and it's a fox. Yeah, anything that bites like this is probably rabid. Okay, here's another story. Jupiter man nursing 41 wounds after otter attack. Oh, boy. And there was one in Australia that was like 200. Got attacked by like 40 otters, I think they said. All right, this is Jupiter, Florida.
Tonight, a Jupiter man is nursing 41 wounds after he was attacked by a river otter. This is a picture of the animal investigators say attacked Joseph Scallione last Wednesday.
Got him in a cage
while he was feeding ducks near a pond in the 900 block of Marlin Drive.
So I backed along the fence. I went through our back gate, and I was just going to close the gate, and then that would have been it. But as I started closing the gate, it charged, immediately attacked my legs.
Sounds like a mob head.
I started to push it away, and it started to bite my hands. One of the bites that I have is on my pinky, and it actually ripped the nail off the pinky.
Ugh.
And it looks like the tooth went completely through my finger.
The tooth went through my
finger. This was all happening. The 74-year-old says that someone called police in Palm Beach County Animal Care and Control. Now, a neighbor trapped the river otter in a recycle bin. They were able to turn the recycle bin
good use of
upside
recycle
down.
bin.
ACC tells us that the otter also had attacked a dog, which was rushed to a veterinarian.
Put it to sleep.
ACC took the river otter, and tests showed that the animal had rabies.
Of course.
As for Joseph, he told me that he's receiving a series of shots for rabies exposure and will see a hand surgeon tomorrow to see if he suffered any permanent damage.
All right, what's disturbing about this one is this guy's not even, he's not in the water. He's feeding ducks. He's just trying to enjoy his day, and then the otter came out of the water and attacked him. I think this is the same story. No, this is Orlando. What is that noise? What? Oh boy. Something is Oh great. I went into a video how sea otter Luma uses her pocket. Boy, that audio is so bad. Wow. Forgot I got to shut these windows. I'm on YouTube playing these videos. Florida man attacked by rabid river otter. Another typo. Another verbal typo right there. Now, if this was a real podcast with a production, we would edit that out. But it isn't. Oh, and I should mention, in the middle of all this otter chaos, it is otter chaos here, that I'm still on tour barely. I know everybody writes every day. I get emails. I'm not kidding. Every single day from people saying, hey, when are you coming to Dallas? When are you coming to Colorado. These are all just today. I'm coming to you every day, virtually. Look at me, virtually. I'm right here. I'm in Dallas right now. I'm in Colorado. I know you're saying shows, but I just don't have the support right now to fully go out and tour like I once did, nor can I deal with the humiliation that goes along with touring. I don't want to get into it, but not every show is sold out, and that doesn't feel good. And I'm sick of getting on planes. I hate planes. The only thing that would make planes worse is if they had otters running around biting people. All right, so you can go to ornyadams.com/tour. So next weekend I'm doing one of those Netflix is a joke shows. I'm at Kookaburra Lounge May 4th. It's a Saturday night. Come on down. Then the 10th, I'm going to be in Halifax at the Halifax Comedy Festival. There at the Spats Theater. I do that every year. It's great. I haven't even thought about what jokes I'm going to do yet. I should be losing weight, so I look good. The next night I'm in Ottawa at Yuck Yucks. Come on down. And then the tour continues. I'm not, I don't feel so compelled. I'm going to get into this at the end. To really, I'm in Los Angeles this weekend. I'm not even doing shows. And normally I would do shows. And I'll tell you why at the end, which is what I talked about at the beginning, about why I should not have gone on vacation. All right, but let's get back to this Otter stuff, okay? The email's what's wrong at ornyadams.com. I did listen to one podcast. Must have been 5 minutes of plugs. I never heard anything like it. It was obnoxious. Like, hey, so we were just in, I don't know, they name a city. Biggest crowd ever. So if you want to beat that record, come see us at blah, 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 blah. Hey, buy some merch. Hey, don't forget to subscribe to our Patreon and blah, 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 blah. I mean, I never heard so many I got out. I go, are we here to entertain or sell? Don't be so obnoxious about it. So my intention is not to oversell, but I do want to let you know, yes, I have all that stuff too. You can go to teamwhat'swrong.com or go to ornyadams.com. It's got my tour schedule. It's got my merch. It's got my Patreon. I have all that stuff. And I don't want you to feel like you're being shaken down here in the What's Wrong with Orny Adams universe. I'm happy to just have you listen. And if I can bring any sort of break to this shitty world, because believe me, it's shitty, and it's gotten even shittier. It really has. Then I'm doing my job. Then I feel good. So here we go. Back to the Otters. When Florida attacks.
When Florida attacks, it's not just alligators and sharks that we need to watch out for. A rabid otter bit a 74-year-old man 41 times.
Yeah, that man was feeding ducks near his home in South Florida when the animal jumped out of a pond.
I'm playing this because they're going to tell you how many shots he has to get. It's unbelievable.
Deborah, you were talking about this treatment earlier, and you said he had to get how many shots?
Can you believe this? 120 shots. He said that he had to get 3 or 4 shots in each of those bite wounds, but nonetheless, Joseph Scagaloni was in good spirits today.
Joseph Scagaloni! Got to see this guy. From the Northeast. Scagaloni. Guy survived his entire life. Maybe involved in who knows what, and then he gets attacked by an otter. If I got attacked by an otter, I'd never hear the end of it. I'd never hear the end of it. I'd be attacked by an otter and it wouldn't go viral. That's what would happen to me. That's what's wrong with Orny Adams. He had over 100 shots. Jim Clemente, in episode 110, the last episode, described how painful this procedure of rabies shots is. And if you don't get the rabies vaccine, you die. It's almost 100%. There's like 1 or 2 people that have survived this for years, but it goes to your brain. And trust me, Jim Clemente has a lot of stuff already going to his brain. Imagine getting attacked by rabies. It's one of the few vaccines that works after. I always thought vaccine meant before, but it works after. So there's that guy. Again. All right, you got the woman who's 72. You got, this one doesn't want to load. Uh-oh. Otter attacks 8-year-old boy and grandma. These things don't care about generations, age gaps. They're attacking little kids. You ever see dogs? You ever see like little kids will go up and punch a dog in the face and the dog doesn't do anything? Because the dog knows it's an innocent kid. These otters have no respect for our youth. Be careful of otters. Wait till you see my movie. It's going to be like, what was that movie about that giant shark? Saw it the other day. What was it called? It's like they did a sequel. It's like the biggest shark ever. I'm going to do that with otters. Nobody's capitalized on the otter. The otter community has not been exploited for film yet. I'm not even kidding. Now, this is an older report, but this is USA Today. I'm pulling this clip from. Oh, a little loud.
The water is still and the sunshine is hot, but tonight this popular beach is closed.
All of a sudden, I just hear screams like for his life.
And Tabitha Moser's 8-year-old is scarred from head to toe.
And he's just bobbing up and down in the water, and then as he comes up,
that's going to mess a kid up.
All the way on top of his head.
At 11 a.m., they were 12 minutes into their swim when she said a 4-foot river otter mauled her son.
These otters are impatient. 12 minutes into the swim, they attack.
Grandmother.
It followed us all the way up the river. I mean, it was biting her as I was dragging her.
That's what I'm saying.
Her legs were dragging in the river.
They don't give
coming
up.
and biting her.
She always looked gorgeous, of course. Peter
Hello,
Gross is
love.
married to the woman who was attacked with her grandson.
She's talking. She's
married to the woman.
She might lose movement. She's lost some muscle in the eyes.
The body of it was wrapped around his body, so it's kind of weighing him down.
That's the problem. These otters, they're unrelenting. They just keep going and going. Well, a 12-year-old boy, I think he was 12, was attacked by an otter in Florida. Here's the video of the attack, and you can see this is proof, okay? Because you're thinking, Orny, these people must be doing something wrong. Like they must have been splashing or kicking the otters, or they must have tried to pet the cute little baby otter. Maybe they tried to trap it. What? They're unprovoking. These people are not provoking the otter. They're trying to enjoy the lake. And the otters have no respect for the youth of our country, of our species, of humans. Okay? I'm starting a personal campaign against the otter. Look, I'm looking into the camera. Otters, we're coming for you. Okay? You have a pretty pristine reputation. For a while, you were just getting killed for your furs. I think they have the thickest furs in the world of any species. And they were getting hunted. And I'm not saying we're going to hunt you down, but emotionally, okay, you're not going to get a pass for being so cute and cuddly anymore. You got to see this video. This is the original otter attack video. This is Palm Beach, Florida. This kid, what happened was his parents weren't home. He was locked out of the house. Latchkey kid, I believe. That's what I read. And the parents, Lord knows what they were doing. Lord knows, left the kid outside on this body of water outside of their house. He sees an otter. The kid is so thrilled to see an actual wildlife otter, and the otter's swimming around. This video goes on for 1 minute and 20 seconds. I'm only going to play about a minute of it. And he's swimming around, say, "Hi, otter." The excitement. He's not even using a harsh voice. He's not like trying to get close to the otter, provoke it. And he's on the river bank, or the lake bank. Appears to be several feet in, like 10 feet in, and the thing comes out. And I'll just play it. You'll hear him talking to the otter, and it's pretty clear when he gets attacked.
Little otter. Come here, little otter.
Bum bum. Bum 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 bum. I need theme music for my
there
movie.
it goes.
Now it's swimming away. The otter's swimming away. Bye-bye. Pretty far away.
Awesome.
Oh, turned around.
That was really, really cool.
See, kid's excited.
There he is.
It's swimming away. It's swimming back. It's zigzagging.
Once we get back up here.
Oh.
I guess.
Now it's on the land.
Holy shit!
Yeah, there you go. There you go. How many rabies shots do you think that kid had to get? A lot. He did. He had to get rabies shots. That's what's going on. This world's crazy. When can you ever feel safe? Want to hear some facts about the otters? Here are some facts. Because there's river otters, and there's sea otters, and, okay, hold on. The sea otter is the largest member of the weasel family. These are all weasels. Yet, it's the smallest marine mammal in North America. River otters are much smaller, averaging 10 to 30 pounds. Still vicious. Just saw it. Vicious. With a cylindrical body and small head. I've never trusted species with small heads. Not enough going on inside here. Unintelligent species attack when they get confused. Intellectuals think their way out of stuff. Don't trust the small head species. Don't trust the small head species. That's my What's Wrong with Orny Adams advice for the day. Sea otters weigh more than 45 to 90 pounds with large furry faces. This is the sea otters that are attacking the surfers here in California, Los Angeles. Otters reach swim speeds of 7 miles per hour. 7 miles per hour, they're 3 times faster than a human swimmer, and they can hold their breath underwater for 8 minutes, closing their nostrils and ears to keep out the water. Powerful tails propel them through the water. They've got like a elongated body, which I think helps them swim. Otters, okay, they were hunted to the edge of extinction by fur traders in the 18th and 19th centuries. The few remaining sea otters, about 2,000, scattered in remnant colonies throughout the North Pacific Rim, and were first protected by the International Fur Seal Treaty of 1911. Yeah, we did you a favor. It's like I want to read this to the otters and go, hey, listen, you were going to be killed off. And then in 1911, humans, our species, did something to save you. We're trying not to get you killed. I'd like to know how they're getting rabies. How do they get rabies? They must be biting. They must be coming out and fighting, playing with the raccoons or the bats. Sea otters in the United States received additional protection with the passage of the Marine Mammal Protection Act and Endangered Species Act in the 1970s. That's the act that is now causing an overpopulation of sharks in Cape Cod. My Cape Cod, I grew up on the beaches of Wellfleet, Massachusetts, and now it's not safe there. The sharks are coming into like 2 feet of water and biting people. How about some respect? How about some rules with these mammals? Coming onto our land, biting us? 2 feet of water? It's like a safe zone. A group of resting otters is called a raft. Otters love to rest in groups. They love to attack humans too. Researchers have seen concentrations of over 1,000 otters floating together. Otters might look soft and cuddly, but remain dangerous wild animals. Otters have strong teeth and powerful bite. And they don't give up. You're like trying to get away, and they don't get the clue. We're not into this shit, otters. We're trying to swim away. Leave us alone. So whether you see an otter on the land or sea, be sure to maintain a safe distance of at least 5 kayak lengths. Oh, when did a kayak become a unit of measurement? I wonder how safe I was at the Grand Canyon looking down. I should have never gone to Sedona. I'll tell you why. I'm going to tell you right now. Okay? It's very simple. It's very simple. Now I don't want to work anymore. I don't want to do anything. I knew if I took a vacation, if I interrupted the rhythm of the last 30 years of my life of nothing but work, just work, wake up every day and work, travel, work, 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 work. I knew if I broke up that rhythm, I might find that there's a better life. And I did. And now I don't even want to be here right now. Okay, I'm enjoying this. I'll be honest. I am enjoying it. But I I'm not even doing shows. I'm questioning everything. Sedona is this magical vortex of energy that's making me question, why am I doing so much? Why do I wake up every day and edit videos? Every day, that's what I do. I used to wake up and I used to tend to my home and my gardens. And like right now, I'm dealing with little weasels or moles, ground squirrels. Wonder if they attack. Now I've got to watch and see if there are videos because I'm fighting them. This is like that movie Caddyshack. They're digging up and they're killing all my wildlife out here, my gardens. And my ground is recessing. They've got tunnels under there. And I'm fighting these things. I might be, you know what? A weasel or a possum, or whatever these things, ground squirrel, one might come right now into this, into my Shasta and bite me. I got the door open. A sea otter could come in here right now. So vacationing made me realize how pathetic my life is. And now I just want to go back. I'd like to be back in Sedona. I'd like to be back at the Grand Canyon. I'd like to go to New Mexico. I'd like to see more of the country. I met so many nice people along the way. So many little diners and dives and cool places, unique places, non-chains. I want to get back to that. You sit there looking out at this creek, waiting for the otter to attack you. And you think, what is the meaning of what I'm doing? Why am I spending so much of my life doing shows? Turn on the news and you see humanity, the disgusting number of people in this world. And you think, why? Why have I dedicated my life to making people laugh and find joy? Why not take this Shasta that I'm in and hit the road? That's what I'm saying. So at the beginning of the podcast, when I said, I knew it was a mistake. I knew shaking up my natural rhythm and my regimens would be a mistake. You might not get me back, people. That's what I'm saying. Might be over. I found a better life of doing nothing. I'm like you. I'm like these Gen Z kids. Guess what? I'm doing nothing now too. I did a lot. I did well. And I'm out. I'm going to be like you guys. These kids graduate high school and retire. What are you doing? What do you want to do when you graduate from college? Retire? Do nothing? I want to do as little as possible. Have no meaning, no purpose in life. I want to ridicule and attack older people. I want to judge older people that have accomplished stuff. I want to stare at my phone all day. I want to... what are these kids going to do when TikTok is banned? That's going to be like taking coffee away from people. They're going to freak out. They're not going to know what to do. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Yeah. I want to talk about two other things quickly. One is this Brandy Melville documentary I saw. I was unaware of this fashion line for young women. One size only. I don't know how that works. And it's all like young, blonde American looking girls, and it excludes bigger people. It just seems very anti what's going on right now. But it's something called fast fashion. That's what's going on, is everybody has to have new clothes all the time. They have to have new outfits. Everybody has to look like they're on an Instagram shoot. Everybody has to look like they're models. Everybody's out there rotting inside themselves, trying to show that there's something else with their clothes, that they're living this life, this dream. And guess what happens? It all ends up in like a river. All these clothes that we buy, like shirts for $12, pants for $18. It's fast fashion. They wear it 3 times and it ends up in a river in Zimbabwe or something. These poor African workers making very little money are putting this stuff together. Comes to America, we wear it 3 times, and then we send it back, and it ends up in landfills. In fact, it ends up in the ocean, too. trying to remember what country it was. It ends up in their, you can see their shoreline is filled with clothing that Americans once wore 2 or 3 times. And it's killing the marine life. And guess what? Guess what? Everybody's attacking the plastic straws. In fact, these people, these young people that are critical of the plastic straws that end up in the ocean, they're wearing fast fashion clothing that ends up in the ocean. Everybody's got to check themselves. If you're going to attack a group and be all high and mighty, okay, you better make sure that your life is clean. You got a clean record. And most of you don't. So if you're going to be critical, better make sure you live in a pristine life. That's what I have to say. And I'm talking about the straw. I do that straw bit for this exact reason. The hypocrisy. The fact that we're going after plastic straws, but there's so much plastic out there ending up in the oceans. Besides the straws. But let's just go after the straws. Symbolically. It's easy. And these people making videos with their fast fashion, their clothing that they're going to wear 1 or 2 times, talking about how straws are bad. But yet their clothing is ending up in the oceans as well. You know what? Humans are so flawed with this need to talk down to people. Just live your life. Worry more about yourself and what's going on around you. Like right now, I'm sitting in a Shasta trailer in Los Angeles praying that an otter doesn't come in here and attack me. Okay? That's what you need to do. And not everybody has to have a cause. These young kids have causes. Why don't you go out and get laid? Go out and have fun, date, get into a little trouble, break into the school and write things on the chalkboard, do fun stuff like that. Everybody wants to change the world, but yet they're contributing to the world being a bad place in ways that they don't even realize. They're just unaware. Critical people unaware of the damage that they're causing. God, my head is going to explode. My head is going to explode. I should have never left Sedona. Okay, let's talk about this before we get out of here. Brazilian police detain woman suspected of taking a dead man to withdraw a bank loan. Right, this is unbelievable. Footage of the woman's encounter with the bank has sparked a nationwide discussion in Brazil after going viral on social media. It appears to show the woman at the counter of a Rio de Janeiro branch bank propping up the head of an elderly man in a wheelchair and trying to get his head to clasp a pen. His hand. Oh my God, it's Weekend at Bernie's. Propping up the head of an elderly man in a wheelchair and trying to get his hand to clasp a pen. According to police, she was attempting to take out a loan equivalent of $3,000, which had already been approved by the bank, but still needed the elderly man's signature. But the elderly man in the video, filmed by the bank attendant, remains unresponsive. His arm is limp and his head keeps, this is from CNN, by the way, CNN World, keeps falling back as she talks to him. So the head's going like this, and she's trying to, get his hand to, at one point, the bank attendant says, I think he isn't feeling well. Yeah, he's dead. Anyway, just reading this. It's just Rio de Janeiro civil police. This is unbelievable. So you say, is this possible? By the way, they took a cab over with the dead person. She took a cab with the dead person, put the dead person in a wheelchair, brought him into a bank, and tried to get a loan for $3,000. Now, when I'm dead, let me tell you something. I don't want any funny business with my body when I'm dead. You if you come to see one of my shows, I talk about a very famous person that got messed with once they were dead. It's a cautionary tale on how famous do you really want to be. Don't mess with dead people. Oh, and she's charged with, I think it's called negligence of a corpse. Anyway, I'll get to that in a second, because another woman, you can't make this stuff up. You go, this is a one-off. This is impossible, right? 2 women This is in my lovely country, United States of America. 2 women drove a man's body to a bank to withdraw his money, Ohio police say. 2 Ohio women have been accused of driving the body of a deceased 80-year-old man to a bank to withdraw money from his account before dropping his body off at a hospital. Well, that's nice. That's nice. At least they had the courtesy of dropping him off at a hospital afterwards. Guy's already dead. Bring him to a morgue. Karen Kasbaum, 63, and Laureen Bea Ferrallo, 55, charged with gross abuse of a corpse. Okay, I'm saying this now. I want no gross abuse of my corpse when I'm dead. And theft from a person in a protected class. I guess corpses are a protected class. Police said they were called Monday evening and told 2 women had dropped off a body at the medical emergency center in Ohio without identifying the person or themselves. A few hours later, one of them contacted the hospital with the information of the deceased. Let's start with the fact that these people even have roommates. You know the shenanigans going on when an 80-year-old and a 60-year-old and a 50-year-old are living together. This is unbelievable. This is the world we live in. How much worse can it get? That's the real question. Really, the only positives left are this podcast. This is it. And my comedy. So, listen. Listen to the birds chirping. Isn't that beautiful? It's like I'm back in Sedona. So, you got to do... Somebody today sent me an article, a couple of articles, and she said, how do we stay positive in this world? And I don't know. You stare at a creek, I guess, and hope that an otter doesn't come after you. Okay? That's the only thing. You live your life. Stop watching as much news. Don't be so obsessed with everybody else. That's it. That's it. And I'll do the best I can. I'll continue to write comedy. Come see my shows. Go to ornyadams.com/tour or just watch me on YouTube. Watch the stuff I put out there. I'm probably not coming to your town for a while until I can figure out what the next phase of my career is. I'm in a very bizarre... I had a bizarre dream last night that I was back living at home with my parents and that there was nothing left in my career, which isn't far from the truth. So I'm having some anxiety and I will figure it out and you'll see me at some point. If not online.
What's his name, Kev?
My eyes are tired. I'm exhausted. I want to take a nap now. And I have a business call I have to make. And my computer crashed again. Thanks, Apple. Nothing like having a 4-year-old computer that's completely outdated. That's great. That's good for the environment. Let's throw our old devices into that river in Bangladesh with the fast fashion and all of our plastic. God, are we just ruining this planet? Everybody needs to relax. We don't have to get so much done. We have to be so judgmental and laugh. A joke is a joke, everybody. Just laugh. What's wrong at ornyadams.com is the email. Thank you to Eric Stoltz, who's away this week, but when he gets back, he'll master this audio. He is the master of mastering audio. Tell you that much. Tell you that much. Good to have him back and appreciate his help. And thank you to everybody that is watching, sharing, rating, and just part of what I'm going to call the What's Wrong with Orny Adams universe. I ask you right now, everybody. I ask everybody to help me get the word out that otters are not cute and cuddly. They're dangerous. And to be careful. And to be careful. You guys, I love you. You're out of this world. Okay, I got to stop. Bad enough. We'll see you next time for the next episode of What's Wrong with Orny Adams. What will that be, 112?